I'm just going to do a little bit of work in here, not much, just a bit of tyre work now that she's come back in. She's had a lovely little time out. And I won't take long because it's quite hot. Even though it's windy, it's hot. Just making sure she's listening to my cues as far as getting her to turn. I'd like that turn to be a little better. And I'd like to be able to get to a point where I only need the one hand to do anything with her. Sometimes she's like that and I can do it. Just do a little bit of a trot. She's not wanting to really turn in this direction very well. Don't know what that is. She's a bit defiant about it. It's probably just she thinks it's time to finish because it's getting hot and coming up to the sleepy time of day. This direction she's more than happy. Whoop. And she's just done something with her head there, like a toss. I don't know if that was a fly or whether that was the bit. Oh no, it's a fly. Good job. And what I might even do the next time I come in here, I might go bitless with her in here and just see how she does with the bitless bridle, and then start riding her out in the bitless bridle. That way, if we've got teething issues, which she's going to have over the next couple of years regardless because she's 3-year-old and her 4-year-old teeth will come through soon, and they're probably going to give her a little bit of angst as far as the bit's concerned. So she might not be very happy about that. Trot, trot, trot. That's a nice slow trot there she's doing. Just slow, slow, nice and easy. Good girl. Trot. Good job. I'm going to turn this direction. Oh, that was a lovely turn. And walk. Slow and walk. Walk. Yeah, but it is quite hot. So I might just, that might be it for today. There's not really a lot more that I wish to do today. I'm pleased with her performance today though. She went out without any prior work to make sure she was ready or anything. I didn't know work in the round yard or anything before we went out. We just went straight up, come in here, did a turn and then went up there. So she's done really good, which just goes to show she's sort of horse you can just jump on and go out, which is really awesome. And some days I feel that she's like that, and other days I feel like it's a bit different and she may be actually not ready to go, and I might do some work on her before I go. You got to feel it, and this is where knowing your horse really helps. Knowing their behaviour, knowing what mood they're in, knowing whether they're going to listen or not. I'm going to steer her this direction and with the neck rein, and she's going to listen there nicely, and wool. And wool. Good job. And I didn't even have to put the brakes on then. I just used my seat and my feet. So that was really good. Let's see how she goes when I straight away she gets the cue. This is fantastic. This is all just working and working and working. You don't get these great horses without a lot of work. They're not just born ready to do everything you say. It's work and it's partnership and it's communication and the skills with communication. And the biggest skill you can have is learning to read what's going on with your horse as far as their mood and temperament and how they're feeling about something, if they're scared, if they're not frightened. When it's, there's a gale force wind blowing and they're nervous, you'll know. When you get to know your horse well, you know very well. And then you can predict, and that's where when you're making predictions, You might not get it right all the time, but 90% of the time you'll probably get it right because you know the horse so well. And I've really worked very hard. I've been working with her for, she was about 16 months old when she came, 15 months I think she was when she came here. So just under 1.5. So I've been working with her since she was 15 months old. She came here completely untrained. Very defiant, very aggressive mare. I wished I had have gotten all that on camera. My daughter and I went through quite a bit, and we even almost didn't keep her because of the behaviours, because the woman who had her before just let them fester and fester and fester, and she was, I mean, she's still got behaviours. This pawing thing, that's one of the behaviours she had. Turning a bum and squashing people into a wall was another one. It's all dominant mare behaviour, and she was displaying that at 15 months of age, and that's why the lady just didn't want to deal with her anymore. And had she have gone somewhere where nobody dealt with that problem, she may have ended up in a sale yard and as dog food, because as pretty as she is and as quiet as she is now, I can assure you, if you had have seen her when we first got her, you would have said you're completely crazy working with her. But she's, even the guy who brought her on the truck, Graham, who from Prestige Horse Transport, even Graham said, are you aware what this horse is like? She's got no training whatsoever. She's never been touched. I said, yeah, I'm aware of it. And I wanted a challenge. I got a challenge. And she's my daughter's horse that we bought. My daughter wanted one to start from scratch. And I knew if I get her, that commitment has to work out, because we cannot get her and then stuff her up and then get rid of her. You've got to know what you're doing. With an aggressive and defiant and dominant mare, you must have the pecking order in the right way. I'm lucky because a lot of the help that I got was from Zara, my other mare, who is a very dominant mare and is usually the leader of the pack. And she put her in her place really good. And that's what she needed. She'd been separated from all the larger horses because she was getting herself beaten up at the other place. And she should have been just left for them to deal with her, to be honest with you. She would have learnt very quickly had she been left with her herd. She would have learnt not to be so defiant. But even now, 2 years after getting her, almost, it is 2 years, it's been over 2 years, so she's 3.5. But 2 years after getting her, she is still pushing the limits here and there. Some days she's a right little bugger and she'll just, boom, carry on. Yeah, you know I'm talking about you, don't you? Right. So I'm not carrying on now though. No, I'm being a good girl. But the more that I work with her and the more that I understand her and why she's upset and what it is that's going on with her, and if it's a tantrum or if there's a legitimate concern, the better I'm getting with her and the better I'm feeling about riding her. And honestly, I trust her probably better than most of the other horses I've ever had. It's my nerves that, it's me I don't trust. I don't want to stuff this beautiful girl up, because with all the work that we've done to get her to this point now, if I stuffed her from here on, I would never be able to live with myself with it. And I don't think I would be able to stuff her, because I think I'm working slowly at my own pace. I'm getting things done carefully. Sure, things will happen, but that basic grounding that she has from the get-go from me, and it was good she came without anybody working with her, because if she hadn't been worked with and was still used to those domineering behaviours after being worked with, I would have been in trouble. It would have been a case of a horse that was ruined. And there are cases where there are horses that are ruined. There's nothing you can do because the foundation has been obliterated by whoever had their hands on them first. And unfortunately, people don't think about those things. And those horses are the ones you'll see being sold off and sold off and sold. They're generally a good-looking horse, because the ugly ones end up in the slaughterhouse. Nobody will touch them. It's sad. Or what people deem as ugly. I don't think there is such thing as an ugly horse. But, you know, the prettier show-looking horses are the ones who survive, but they get passed around and passed around and passed around, and you know, somebody will have them until something happens, or the horse kicks, bites, bucks, bolts, rears, falls over, whatever happens. and the horse they get rid of it. Thank God this girl didn't have to go through any of that. She was originally almost sold off as a broodmare, and she would have been fine as a broodmare, but knowing what I know about her now, it would have been an absolute waste of a really gentle giant of a girl. She's not giant compared to other horses, but for me she's a giant because I'm used to the ponies at the moment, and I prefer the shorter, closer to the ground style, so when anything goes wrong and I do come off, I am close to the ground. Mind you, I have not had a fall off a horse for probably since 2018, when I had Peanut here, and I came off him when I was out riding and he took off. But it wasn't a big fall, I just kind of got yanked forward and basically fell down and got a bit scared because he was spooking. I went to jump off and kind of fell. But that's the last time I've come off a horse. Generally, I'm as careful as hell to not allow that to happen, and I don't want to fall off. I don't want to fall off at any height, but this high is big enough for me. But yeah, you can see she's just behaving absolutely beautiful. She's walked around a couple of bits, but she's just sitting there and going, yep, yep, and I'm going to stop her from moving there, and she's listening. And I've got a completely loose rein on her, and she's more than happy to just let me stand and talk, even though it's hot. And she's tired and she's hungry and she wants to get things done. So yeah, but yeah, how far she has come is astounding, given the beginning that she had. And she also lived with a goat. She was taken away from the horses and put in with a goat. So she had this jumping up and pawing with both feet issues, which is a behaviour that goats do. And basically jumping up and weaving a head towards you. And this is there's a botfly. There's a damn botfly. This is the behaviour that happened when we got her. And I couldn't understand, what the hell, I haven't had a horse do this kind of stupid behaviour, but we remembered she was in with a goat. So I bought some goats so she'd have some goat friends, but she just doesn't care about them now because she's got horse friends. So she's more than happy to be, where she is with the horses. And that'll pretty much do for the day. So really nice ride, I'm very pleased with her. And I'm going to jump off and let her go and have some peace, because she's such a good girl. Thank you, Ellie. You might be thirsty too. You probably are thirsty. It's been a busy day. Let me just get this one. We'll take your bridle off before we take you over to the house and get those other guys sorted. I'm going to bring the other guys in and let you go out. I know. Oh, so well, it's time for me to get this off. Yeah, there we go. Great job. Good girl. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you don't miss a single video. Nice and slow. Good girl.